All right, everybody. We've got another very special guest for y'all. Everybody, please welcome to the show, Zio New. Welcome, Zio.
Hi, nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks for being here, joining us from the West Coast because we're on the East Coast. Appreciate that.
Yeah, still feel ashamed because I was late. I thought it was 3 p.m.
Listen, time
Yeah.
zones are a fickle thing. We've dealt with all of them on the podcast.
Why you guys are? I know you're the East Coast, but
Yeah, we're in New York, upstate New York. Both of us.
New York
Yeah.
City.
No,
Never
not the
been.
city, not
No.
that.
Not the
close.
city.
No,
Okay.
no.
Oh.
The rest of the state that exists.
The
besides-
country bumpkin, New York.
Yeah, the country bumpkin. Yeah.
My condolences.
Yeah, it's all right. I feel that way about people in New York City, so don't feel bad.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I could go
Yeah.
there. And same thing about LA. I travel a lot for work, and I was just in LA last month. Oh God,
Do you feel bad for us?
Yeah, I feel so bad. The traffic is like the worst thing in the world there. I don't know how you live with it, but oh my God.
The interesting thing is, I just recently, I had this writing gig that I have to commute like more than an hour. It's like 2 hours a day back and
Oh my
forth
God.
to work. I think I'm just gonna quit that job because of that.
I think that's a good idea. I would, yeah. My commute's about 5 minutes, and sometimes I can't handle it. I don't know. So,
Like when I drive there, sometimes like in the middle, I kind of just want to open the door and just jump outside the window.
yeah, just like
So-
throw yourself like Lady Bird style, just roll yourself out the window if you've seen that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if I just die now, I don't have to deal with the way back.
So now
Like a
we're
great
gonna
way
get
to solve the problem.
we're getting existential shit on the podcast today, everybody.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about if you just threw yourself out of your car.
You don't have to commute anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's problem
I had a
solved.
guy once tell me that if he got hit by a car at work, he said it's great because either he gets very injured
Mhm.
and never has to work again, or he dies and he never has to work again. And I
Oh,
was
that's
like,
great.
this is a great introduction to another human being right here.
Yeah. This is the
Yeah,
place I want
right.
to work for sure.
I have a broke comedian friend. He told me his retirement plan is to get hit by Bentley in Beverly Hills.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And some old lady or it's gonna just pay for
Yeah.
the rest
That
of
sounds
his
amazing.
life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait around in the street corner. You'll probably see one every 15 minutes or so. I don't know.
Yeah, but more than likely he's gonna get hit by a Camry or Toyota Corolla in Van Nuys.
Yeah.
And,
It's like missing a
gonna
bumper and
suck.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
uninsured. Yeah.
yeah. And so you touched on that a little bit. You are a comedian, and I guess that's kind of where my first question is, a little bit about your origin story. Where did you get into writing a comic? I mean, were you a comedian first? Were you a writer first? And then you're like,
Right.
oh, I'm pretty funny. I should do this stuff on stage. How did that start?
Right. So I'm originally from China,
Mhm.
and when I was in China, I worked as a journalist and translator, book translator. Actually, I translated books about like grunge music and stuff like that. Kurt Cobain's biography. So that's kind of like writing adjacent. And I always want to be a writer when I was a kid. So when I moved here, I moved from China to America in 2015. So about 8 years, more than 8 years ago. And I was 23 years old. So after I got here, I started to do stand-up comedy. And after I moved to LA, I started to do like some TV writing and script. Some are spec, some are like paid,
Mhm.
mostly spec.
Mhm.
And I wanted to do Monkey because it's inspired by this musical in 2008. They did a musical in London, and they hired the guys from Gorillaz, the band,
Yeah, the
to
band.
be
Wow.
the concept artist and the musical director. So Damon Albarn did all the music. He released the album called Monkey Journey to the West, which is it's this very weird album that it's kind of like a mixture of West and East, but more West. I don't really think he understands Chinese music, but it's actually great because he's
Yeah.
a good musician.
Yeah, he's
But
really
it's
good,
just
yeah.
this very weird juggernaut that he created that sounds very odd, but I really like it. And the concept art part is done by Jimmy Hewlett, one of my favorite, probably my favorite like artist
Mhm.
in terms of like comic books and stuff like that. I love Tank Girls, love
Yep.
the shit he did. And the thing is, when he did the concept art, it doesn't look like anything the other iterations look like. He didn't do any of the original costume or color or even the weapon. It looks like a Gorillaz character, and it looks amazing. It's like this punk rock monkey
Yep.
kind of stuff. And when I saw it, I'm like, I hope this is a comic book, or I hope this is not just some pinups or concept art. I really
Right.
hope there's a storyline, but because I can't, it really gives you a lot of ideas, and you have this image in your head. So I'm like, why don't I do something similar like this? Because I always see Journey to the West as like a treasure trove that never, stop on giving. Like there's so many, like we have Dragon Ball Z, that's basically the
Yeah,
same
right.
story. Inuyasha, that's basically the same story. We have like numerous video games that's coming out. I think everyone is very excited about like Black Myth Wukong.
Yep, Wukong. Yep,
That's the same thing.
Mhm.
I think it's kind of like Shakespeare. Like there's so many iterations of King Lear or Romeo and Juliet. So, but I haven't seen something that's done and basically stripped away all the background story and make it happen in America, Cold War era and post-apocalyptic. Like I haven't really seen that. Yeah. So, so that just prompted all the idea, and I was very excited and lucky to find my artist David. He's a great artist, not just the lineup, but also he has a very good sense of humor, and his style kind of really fits the narrative. A lot of the little details and touch up that he did within the panel, it's actually his idea, is not in my script, but just make this story so much more fun. Yeah.
Like the background and the environment, things like that, or
yeah, for example, that scene in the bathroom. Like I think when I wrote it, I just said CD bathroom. You see the toilet paper strewn over, but he actually did a lot of the one, if you just zoom in, the profile view. Sorry, the bathroom one. Yes.
right there. Yep.
Yeah, like to draw little dicks on the wall, all that.
That's awesome.
And even the first panel when the soldiers are like waiting out outside, the lost dog notice. I didn't write that in the script. I didn't.
Oh,
really?
Really?
They're waiting outside the bathroom. They're waiting to like barge in to like raid him, but all that, little vending machine and little graffiti there. That's all his idea. So
That's great.
That's really cool when you hand someone something, when you hand someone a blueprint of your vision, and then they make it better.
That's great, especially coming from an artist. And I wanted to talk about the art a little bit because Batista's art is amazing, and I think it fits that. It's like a punk rock monkey, right? I mean, that's essentially. I mean, you can see it behind me here, but I think that art really lends itself to that style of what you're, or at least the tone I think you're going for in the book, right?
Yeah.
And I think my favorite part of the book. I mean, I don't want to spoil too much because Chris and I thankfully got a review copy, and which we don't read all our reviews, but we definitely read this one because we really liked it. But the scene with the spinning mop machine guns was probably my that was wild. So I can imagine like when he gets the script to like draw something like that, it's either like really fun for him or like a huge pain in the ass to be like, how am I going to draw that? But I thought
that's kind of like a joke machine sort of, because in the original story he has a rake.
Yeah.
And then there's also the element of like, I want him to be British, like his whole Pixie, this character, or Pierce, there's the same person.
Yep.
The whole design idea behind him is Elton John and Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
And the military kind of, because they are the military, Jimi Hendrix, I think they wear the same like military kind of uniform, but also like the crazy sunglasses and stuff like that. Like I'm going to try to incorporate more and more like Elton John's look, like in the coming issues. But so because that's British, so there's also, I forgot what is it called? What is that Colin Firth movie?
The King's Speech? No,
not the King's Speech. When he's a spy, like
Kingsman. Kingsman. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So,
Kingsman.
So they have this umbrella they can turn into a weapon kind of idea.
Yep.
And I know all my ideas is a combination of a lot of random stuff.
That's all right.
So there's a Stephen Chow movie called From Beijing with Love. It's a parody of James Bond from Russia with Love. And in the movie, there's this crazy scene of this crazy scientist from a psych ward. And he's like, see that this is my ultimate killing weapon. And they just bunch of like bullshit string together.
that he like combines together. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like so everyone's okay. You're done. It's okay. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the idea of that weapon.
Okay.
But also, I think it functioned as a scratcher, like a back.
Yeah, like a back scratcher. Of course.
It's always
Yeah.
itchy.
That's awesome. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say, I think one thing that made this even more enjoyable for me is I talked to Mike about it earlier. Was I actually just started reading Journey to the West because, like you mentioned, like Dragon Ball, me and Mike, one of our favorite shows all time. I think of the game Enslaved that came out during the 360 PS3 years. That's the Journey to the West done for video game. It's been in my life for so long and different versions of it, but I never read the actual thing. And I found one that actually one of our favorite writers, Gene Luen Yang, did the foreword for. So I've been reading that. And then I read your comic, and like seeing the parallels from the story and how you changed them, everything was very fun too, being it's so fresh in my mind. And I have an actual like can actually pull from the original story as opposed to just things I know from like Dragon Ball Z or whatever.
Yeah. So my goal was to kind of like it's a book for people who had never heard of Journey to the West or heard of it, never read the story, and if they come in, they even if they don't know all the inkling and stuff like that, they will still be able to enjoy the story. And also, if you have read the story one way or the other, iteration or the original one, and you can find the inkling that adds like a different kind of layer of fun to it. Like for example, I'm a big fan of the movie. This is Spinal Tap. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
And I'm a big music fan. I know all the freaking bands that they were referring to.
Yeah.
Like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, all that. Like so when I watch it, like it's actually it's especially funny. But I have friends who are not fan of rock and they don't really know the reference. They watch the movie, they find it funny as well, just by the crazy situation itself. So I mean, that's in my opinion the best comedy movie of all time. So
right. If you can make people laugh without knowing the other material, it's like it doesn't matter, right? So
yeah, this book is like has comedic elements. I wouldn't call it like pure comedy, but that's kind of like what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah, I would say the characters are kind of wacky themselves, where it's like some of the stories pretty serious. I mean, we talk about like the Cold War era and things like that. What made you want to go across? It's 3 different timelines, right? That we touch on.
Yeah, I think it's I actually kind of toy with the what should be the beginning story a lot. Like initially, there's so many different drafts. The first draft, it started with the when they found him in Arizona, the paleontologist team.
Yep.
And because that's if you read the original book, everything is linear. So we don't really see the main character like Monk and Pixie until way later. Especially Monk is from 500 years later. It's a totally different timeline, and it's very weird because like the original story, it's basically 2 stories snapped into one. First is this monkey's backstory. It's like you can call him a supervillain or superhero, whatever. And then after the punishment, it's a different story. After the punishment, the gang go on the journey. Basically, it's 80% of Japanese anime or manga, the backbone of it, the structure. But it's like 2 stories snapped into one. I personally always like the first one more than the second one. The second one is great too, but it's very episodic. They encounter an evil spirit, a monster. They fight it. They keep going, and then every episode is a different one. It's Dragon Ball, right? It's different.
Right, exactly.
Battle. But the first story, it's just the whole arc is so epic. So I'm kind of just like I'm trying to see. Okay, I don't want the main characters, the important side characters, to only show up in like book 3, 4, because I only want to follow that linear backstory. It's gonna be just him for many issues.
Yeah, without any supporting cast, right?
Right. So I'm trying to do when you see like TV and movie, there are different ways. Like they will show you the aftermath first, and then they tell the story backwards. How do we get there? I don't want to be like Quentin Tarantino-ish, because that would be crazy and would be a torture for people's attention span.
Back and forth all the time. Yeah,
I'm trying to do the jumping from timeline back and forth, but I'm very intentionally trying to do it in a way that is very clear which timeline are we talking about by tying it together. Either he's reading a photo album, from hundreds of years back, or they were talking about the same incident. So hopefully the transition is smooth and people are not confused. Like, okay, where are we now?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it worked really well.
Yeah.
The way it's all set up. And I do agree, because like you get to the back half of now the version I'm reading, I found out later is like fairly annotated, so there's stuff taken out of it.
Right.
But it's not until like the second half of the book do you even meet like Pigsy and everything.
yeah.
like one of the most iconic characters from that journey.
Yeah.
So I think it did make sense to like how you started it, and then getting the jump to where the story actually is, and like going back and getting his origin throughout it is my preferred way of storytelling.
Mhm.
So I thought it worked really well, and I like that method of like telling a story. Like just jump me in.
Yeah.
Like, introduce me to the character in a wacky scenario, and then I'll catch up later on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Chris and I have some hot takes on how people structure stories. And
What's your hot take?
Tom King's one of the biggest writers out there right now, and I kind of shit on him every other book that he puts out because he has this thing where he jumps you around timelines and doesn't give you any context. And it's like, yeah, people when you get a finished story after like 12 issues, you're
You
like,
get it.
oh, that makes sense. But like from issue to issue, or like in the context of your work in volume 1, like it's a coherent story. It makes sense why we're jumping to these different timelines, to where it's like I'm not waiting for something to be like, well, why did we go back there? I guess I'll find out in volume 2 or something like that, where it's in volume 1, it all fits together. And then you leave us on the inevitable cliffhanger. So I have to guess that you have some other story to tell with this. Do you have any plan for like how far you want this to go, or
Like this whole thing.
yeah? Do you have
The
an idea?
author that you mentioned, I'm
Yeah.
pretty jealous of his creative freedom, because it seems like he's very confident that the things will go 12 issues or 10 issues.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Every
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like he's a big writer, so
Yeah.
people will support. Like my concern is like I need the first issue to be enticing enough to even
Right.
have issue 2, issue 3, issue 4.
Yeah. Exactly.
So my grand plan, it's at least like 12 issues. Like
Mhm.
so far, issue 2 is already done. Issue 2 was
okay.
done a while ago.
Yep.
The only thing that's pending is color and lettering, which is not going to really change the story itself that much. That part is locked. And then in terms of like outline and treatment and scripts, I'm probably like 4 issues in.
Okay.
So the whole thing, at least it will be 10 to 12. But
And an
yeah.
issue for you is like this volume 1 is like 60 something pages.
yeah, I think I made a bad decision as a first time Kickstarter. I should
Yeah.
have split it in 2. I might
Okay.
do that for the next one. So it will be 2 issues
Okay.
coming out back to back. Because
Okay.
I realize, if it's a lower price tag for something that's just started, people will have more confidence to back it, and I probably will recoup my investment twice at least 1.5 times as fast
Yeah.
as
Right.
what it is right now. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think the whole Kickstarter thing is a learning curve in itself, because we talk to so many
God.
creators and everybody has a different take on it. So,
I hate the process so much,
yeah.
and I especially hate when I see like another campaign that's like doing so well, and I click into, oh, it's not safe for work.
Yeah. Right.
Like some of it
Yeah.
is very clear, it's not safe for work from the
Right.
banner, but some of it
Right.
is, oh, this is about space, right?
yeah. And then you click on
okay.
it. No.
Star Horse. There's one called Star Horse.
Yeah. Chris backed that one last week, right, Chris?
See?
Yeah, no,
You
just
did
kidding.
it. So of course I want to see
Oh.
what a Star
Yeah.
Horse is. That sounds
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. It sounds great. Yeah.
I literally was I go through Kickstarter every week
Yeah.
for a thing I write, and I was going through it looking for what the good projects were and everything. And there's literally one where the banner was a woman with her legs spread out like this, and
You're
just
like, I
bent
gotta
over.
back it.
And I'm
I
just
gotta
like,
back it.
sold. Yeah.
we're not even like hiding it now. Like,
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what the book's about, but it's backed.
And then you bought all the variant covers.
It's funny too, because we've had creators on here that we call it the cheesecake covers, we call them, where like they'll just have like a scantily clad woman on the front of the cover, which has nothing to do with the story.
Mhm.
And they're like, yeah, I mean, it just sells. Like people don't even care what the story is about. They just collect these covers. But like Chris has put them on the spot before. They're like, why'd you do it? Like, and they're just like, it boosts the numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
know,
sex
we're gonna
sells,
feel it.
baby.
Yeah,
Money.
sex sells. Yeah, it really does.
I think my favorite was our buddy Richard Fairgray, who wanted to like flip that on his head, and so
Yeah.
he did the cheesecake cover, but it was a guy.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Richard's
And
crazy.
I'm like,
yeah.
it was pretty funny. I think it
Yeah.
failed because
Yeah.
you know
Because
the audience is pretty
Yeah.
obvious for those covers,
right.
but it's still
Wait,
funny.
is it the
idea.
gay guy? Like, do the
Yeah.
gays?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah. Richard is gay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Richard is also gay. So
Yeah.
But what about his community? They don't buy it then.
yeah. I don't know,
They
Chris.
should
Did you buy it?
support-
Yeah, did you support him? You didn't buy it?
did I? No, I can't say I did. I did buy the horoscope book, which is the
You're saying
cover
you're
of that
gay,
one.
Chris.
Yeah,
You wanna
it's
respond to
okay.
that?
It's okay. Don't. No, it's okay.
It's the horror shorts book he did though. The cover of it's his husband's ass.
Oh, that's
I
hilarious.
don't know if you knew that, but
No, I didn't know that.
I
didn't
did
know
buy
those-
that one. If that
Yeah,
counts.
that's funny.
How many No Safe for Work projects have you bagged?
Me?
Yeah, it's okay.
I tried one last year just to
Yeah.
like. I was going through a phase of like, let's test to see things I've always said I don't like. Do I still not like them?
It's okay if
and,
you like them. You don't have to have
I
this disclaimer.
legitimately I bought one. It was through a guy we know who
Yeah,
does
Pat
them,
Shand.
and I couldn't get past it. Like it was literally a book about strippers in a strip club, and like when I
Right.
got to the panel where it was two people talking in a private room and a guy's being jerked off, I was just like, this isn't for me.
Oh, okay.
It's
not
So
my-
there
not
is a
my-
narrative then. It's
Yeah,
not
Yeah,
just
there's
like,
narratives,
okay,
yeah.
that's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I was
Sometimes.
always we were trying to make fun of like even HBO shows. They always have to have two different brothels,
Right.
not just
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And everything has like the meeting has to take place in the brothel.
mhm,
You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
like,
They're having
the-
dinner at the brothel.
you know,
yeah.
they're doing push-ups at the brothel, and it's like what you're saying. Like they were just doing their thing, and then
Yeah.
all the naked women just like in the background.
Yeah, they're like
for
dancing
no
in the
reason.
background.
For no reason.
Yeah, we're like
Yeah.
trying to talk about a war strategy and they're just dancing in the background.
I know.
It's like they must get in the writer room and they're like, okay, everybody, like, think about it.
We
You
need
can
a
do all this
brothel.
cool shit, but put it in a brothel. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, but I already have brothel 2 seasons. It's a
Yeah.
different brothel.
HBO
Like,
comes in and is like, it'd be
They
better
found a
if
new
you.
one.
This is
Yeah.
competing brothel.
Yeah, they're. That's what they write. That's what the show should be about. Like, you know, you get like Game of Thrones, you get House of Dragon, but now we would just want to know like the competing brothels in Westeros and how
Oh,
they're.
so you want them to remake Game of Thrones? Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
so
Yeah,
remake
they-
Game of Thrones again. There you go.
They did make the show The Deuce. It's about like prostitution
Oh, really?
from like New York City in the 70s, and
Hmm.
James Franco is in that. And it was the creator of The Wire, which is a great show. But
love
that
The
show is
Wire.
very dull. Like they make
Yeah.
it very boring. I don't know how
Really?
they did it. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's just like God. You have this crazy premise. You
Yeah,
have these casts. You have these like creator and writer.
yeah.
And this is what you come up with. That's the same thing for they have a show called The Vinyl. It's about like
Okay.
60s rock and roll
Mhm.
scene. Martin
Yep.
Scorsese and Mick Jagger was like producers on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, and then the main character was his name Bobby, the Italian American guy.
I can't
He's
think
like
of his name.
a really really good actor. But that show was awful. It just,
Yeah, it's like how do you pick they? It's almost like they pick a wacky, not even a wacky premise, but something that's like at the time like it was a big deal or like it's very provocative, and they're like that'll do it. Like we
Yeah,
just
it
need to
was
talk about it.
just
Yeah,
very boring. And
Yeah.
that show got canceled after one season.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Sorry,
Well,
we stray away from the topic.
No, it's okay.
No,
I'll bring
you're
it back
good.
though. So long story short, though, if you want to back your Kickstarter as quick as possible or fund it, you need a cheesecake cover.
Okay.
Or at least
Sorry,
like,
I
you
had
know,
to look this up real quick.
monkey in a speedo or something like that. I don't know.
That makes sense because the thing is, I haven't even touched upon that. Is he does have shape shifting ability?
Oh,
That just
oh,
opens
well,
up
yeah,
everything.
there you go. You could do whatever you want for
Yeah.
not safe for work.
Also,
The,
just whoring Sun Wukong out. I feel bad.
Yeah.
That's sacrilegious.
yeah, that's
pretty
you might piss
sacrilegious.
some people off. You might. Piss
I don't think I will sleep at night.
Yeah,
Let's just sacrifice another poor woman instead of just
Yeah.
our main hero.
yeah, we don't want to do that. Yeah. What were you saying, Chris?
Cheesecake cover. That's
Yeah,
that's the term
yeah.
for it.
Cheesecake cover. Yeah.
Ah.
At least within comic books, that's what they call them. I don't know if they. It might just be because we've been around comics too long, Chris. I don't know if they call them that anymore, but we do.
I think it's not safe for work covers is now the
Oh,
term
now that's
that's
the thing.
used.
Okay,
But yeah,
now cheesecake.
cheesecake was. I think
What-
cheesecake was more like. I don't want to say like
It was like the
classy, but it was less nude. I
Yeah.
guess. It was more like sexualized covers.
More like burlesque dancer
yeah,
than
yeah,
Yes.
right,
brief and
right.
girl just
Mhm.
spreading
Yeah.
their legs open. Okay.
Like it was
Exactly,
obvious
yeah.
that the woman on the cover was sexualized in nature, but it wasn't flat out like here's the lead character and her tits are out right on the cover. It's like,
Right.
okay,
Oh,
right.
it's objectifying women instead of
Yes.
sexualizing them.
Yeah,
Got
there
it.
you go.
Yeah.
That's
Got
the point.
it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, that never happens in comics though. So
No.
I know, never.
never.
Aren't they? Don't they like complain about like the X-Men, like their ass is not big enough?
Yeah. Oh yeah. What was it? X-Men '97.
It's like the new X-Men,
yeah.
they're like
Yeah,
the ass
Rose-
used to be
Rose's ass.
bigger.
Yeah. This isn't my X-Men '97. God damn.
Because I have a friend who worked as a storyboard artist director for the new X-Men. And
Oh,
it's like,
really?
yeah, he showed me one of. I thought the ass looks pretty big. Like, what
Yeah,
are
it
they
was-
complaining
It was
about?
a pretty solid ass. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
People just want to complain. You know, they're just. I guess they're used to those ass injections now. And
I just wanted Gambit to throw cards at people. I didn't really pay attention to anyone's ass, but
Chris is like, I don't want any ass. I want my superheroes to do the things they were supposed to do. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it back to the Kickstarter. You're funded right now, but you also have some
Right.
stretch goals, right? So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I think we've unlocked 2 stretch goals and on stretch goal 3. Hopefully we can get to 6,500. Right now it's 5,300 and we have 10 days to go.
So
For a first time Kickstarter, I think it's a decent
yeah, it's pretty. I think it's pretty
number.
solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, when this comes out, so you probably have about a week left, everybody. But we're looking at the stretch goals now. So you had some trading cards there you unlocked.
Yeah, so
Playing
the third stretch goal it's not anything, that's the add-on.
Mhm.
It's everyone who backed the physical tier will just get it for free. That's the final stretch goal.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a postcard based on this pin-up.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool art.
yeah.
So we're almost at the last stretch goal. Just need about $1,000 more, so which is totally doable in 10 days, everybody.
Yeah.
So you got to get out there and back, and then you have a variant cover as well, right? As far as add-ons go.
Right. So there are 2: the main cover, Monkey and Pixie, and then there's a variant cover, which is I think the background you're using right now. It's
Yep.
Chinatown. Yeah.
Yeah, the Chinatown cover, which I
This is
really
a
like.
great cover, yeah.
Yeah.
They're both great covers, but this one's really cool.
This one is punk rock.
Yeah,
For
I selected that one as main cover purely because the color is more. It's a marketing decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're
Okay.
both pretty cool. I
No.
do like the vibe that Chinatown. It's kind of like
Yeah.
solitude, and you don't
Yep.
know what's gonna happen.
hmm
But I think this one gives off the Tank Girl vibes a little bit more.
Yeah. This one or Sandland for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, that cover, the main cover's color is done by Rico Renzi, and I think he worked on like Spider Punk and She-Hulk and a lot of different projects. He's like a really good, one of my favorite colors.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of purple. That dark purple color, and I
Yeah.
think that looks great with that background, that like yellowish background. No, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, as far as the story goes, I know Chris and I really enjoyed it. I think the art is absolutely amazing. If you can't see it in the video here, everybody, but
That's what
Is there any-
this panel while you say art.
yeah, there you go. Look at that. Like that right there is amazing. Where he's like setting the soldiers on fire. It's just fucking awesome. Is there anything you want to talk about the story or tell the like listeners, viewers, before we wrap up here, like anything about the project that you want to sell to them or?
Yeah. So this is a grand project in my plan, and I totally when I release this one, everything is totally funded out of pocket. So which means when you back it, you will receive a copy. It's already done and printed. It's not something that's like you might or might not receive it. You will receive it, and we will always deliver. So hopefully we can build up a fan base, and the issues can keep going, and help me finish the story.
Yeah.
Don't you
Yeah.
hate it when the story just doesn't finish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
If you don't want that to happen, just keep supporting me. And
Yeah.
keep them coming.
Yeah. Keep sending your money to Zio, please.
Yeah. Keep sending your money to
Yeah.
me.
Awesome. And if our listeners, our viewers want to follow you and all the awesome stuff you're doing, is there anywhere you want to send them specifically?
Cool. Yeah, you can follow Monkey on Instagram, and the handle is Monkey Comic. I
Okay.
think it's Monkey Comic or Monkey the Comic. Hold on, I
Okay.
don't even remember my own Instagram.
It's all right. It's okay.
Okay, it's Monkey Comic
Okay.
on Instagram, and is Monkey the Comic on Twitter or X.com. And if you want to follow me, it's a little bit harder to spell. It's a Zeonu for real, but I think it's on the profile of Monkey Comic Instagram page, and we will post our updates and screenshots and dumb marketing videos that
Awesome.
I come up with. Yeah, and keep it going.
Great. No, it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And those marketing videos are work because I see them on Facebook like every other day now.
I know.
They're flooding
so
our
sorry.
pages. Yeah.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. No, you got to
I
get
had
the
to
money.
do something.
Yeah, you gotta
I don't have
market.
a fan base.
Hey, it's all good. It works.
So to everybody out there, like Mike said, I do also recommend this book. I thought it was a ton of fun. And if you want to find it, you know where to go. The show notes down below, where I'll have them there, so you can just click on them and go support this project.
Yeah.
So,
So if you just search Monkey on Kickstarter, you should see it. It should be
It's the
one of the
first thing.
first things. Yeah.
There you go. You can do that too. Zio, thank you so much for stopping by. It was a blast talking to you, and best of luck with the project moving forward.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And sorry again for being late and everything.
It's all right.